And again, for those who are joining us, welcome to our session today. I would like for you to give some thought to community service, the idea of service learning, and why we would want to incorporate that into any of our classes, and how we might be able to add it into an online course. So I'm delighted to have you joining us today, and we will be getting started. And so welcome back to our professional development sessions. I hope your semester is getting off to a really incredible start. We certainly have spectacular weather, excuse me, and we are really delighted to be getting started. And I have a particular reason for starting off with this topic today, service learning, connecting students with the community. And I will be sharing that with you in just a few moments. Again, you will be communicating through the chat room with Dimitri and or Daniel. And so if you have any comments you would like to make, or if you want to have your microphone turned on, please let them know. The Dimitri is your personal connection to this session. So as your presenter, I will be sharing my screen with you, and you can chat with others, but through the chat room, but you can also ask Dimitri to unmute you so that you can speak up in the session as well. Throughout our session today, we're going to share some thoughts and ideas about service, community service, and leadership amongst our students. And we're going to give some particular thought to how to incorporate these ideas into our online sessions, and in order to make our online students a part of that community as well. They are already, by virtue of being online students, they are already within their own community, and we want to be able to incorporate this in for them. We will also be taking a look at the Weppner Lead and Serve website, and all of the really amazing things that are on there. And we will be talking about what things we can do to set up our own courses so that we can include service learning into that. So give me some thoughts about what the value of service learning is, community service, and do you think it can work for online students? And if you would like to speak up, you may, of course. Dimitri can unmute you, or you can also post something in the chat. So I think Marianne wants to speak up. Yes.
I guess I don't quite understand enough to make a comment yet.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. At this point, do you feel like it's something that might be possible to have in an online class, or is it just a little too far-fetched?
I guess I just don't really understand what you mean by connecting with the students in the community. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? I don't know if I missed the objective.
Okay, well, stick with us. Well, we will, hopefully we will get you moved in that direction, Marianne. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, when we are teaching online, we have there are several challenges that come up for online instructors. Teaching online is definitely a unique experience for both faculty and for the students. And yet it also can be something of a challenge. One of those is the idea of engagement. We want to be sure that we do whatever we need to do to make sure that our students are engaged in activities that move them beyond just the basic read, interpret, interact. We want them to be able to feel like they're supported and they're connected with us. And we want to do everything that we can to provide them with a successful learning environment. And we want to move students beyond the perception of, oh, an online class is just click through. And so those are some of the things that it seems to me that we can incorporate by having a community service, a service component within our class. So let's take a look at some of that. These are some comments that faculty comments based on the idea of service learning or community service. So one response: service learning invigorates my teaching and my students' learning. It provides them with opportunities to actually be in the community, to see how problem solving and collaboration actually can work in practice. They can make these contributions to truly address community needs. And we will see when we get into the website that it can be a component no matter what your course content is. It helps them get with a better understanding of the course content, and it can integrate the theory with the practice and help them have a deeper understanding of the complexity of some of the social issues in our world, and helps them work in collaboration. So service learning and incorporating community service into our courses can add that piece of engagement, really strong engagement with our students. So take a moment, and I know Marianne mentioned not having a really good feel, so jot down what your questions and your concerns are at this point, and then we will go into the website and take a look at how we can actually make that happen. So take just a moment to jot down either some thoughts about community service and service learning in your classes, or some questions that you may have about it. And so while you're doing that, I'm just going to show you, this is one of the banners on the page for the Weppner Lead and Serve Center. So what I'm going to do now is just take us directly into that website. So bear with me while I move us into that. And I thought I had it on here. There it is. Okay. And I'm going to move this out of the way or try to move it out of the way because I have a feeling it's blocking for you. Okay. So this is the website for the Weppner Center for Lead and Service Learning. And I'm going to leave us at this point for just a moment so that you can see as it flips through every one of these banners that is going through, gives you a little bit of an insight into some of the things, the opportunities that this center provides for us. In my mind, it's one of the little known opportunities for us as faculty and for our students on campus. So this is the homepage, the welcome page, and the Center for Lead and Service Learning. invest in students to become change agents. I love that phrase because that is truly what, going all the way back, a college education is supposed to do, to give us the foundation, the background to make a difference in our community. So the center provides the atmosphere to develop that. They guiding principles are these three ideas of know and be and do, to learn about themselves in the process, and then use that knowledge to help them develop a purpose or cause or beliefs, and then demonstrate through their programs within their own communities. And then this is one of the really key pieces of community service and service learning, is reflecting after the fact. So I'm going to take us through. Let me get to. I want to make sure I wrote down. And I will encourage you to also go into this website and check around. I'm going to show you a few things in it. But again, up here, fau.edu/lead and serve is where we are. So I'm going to take you into the mission, vision, and values part of their site. So, and again, most of this is what was on that page in the home page, but encouraging leadership, and it is has a strong leadership component for all of the students. Empowerment, learning, leadership, service, and community. And again, for almost all of us, no matter what our content area is, those are the key things that we want our students to come away with, no matter what way we approach it, what content area we approach it from. The empowerment for them to know their potential, their leadership, and learning the key components of leadership, and then being citizens that are willing to help to serve in their community. The guiding principles is what was again was on the front page. The knowledge, the self-discovery, and then demonstrating that, and then they wrap it up with inspire. They encourage the students to be out into their community, to serve as an inspiration to others. Let's see, under programs, and look at this long list of programs that they offer, opportunities for both faculty and students. I wanted to take a look at the Outbreaks. This is Be the Change. What is Outbreaks? And it's a way for students to spend a break between courses, or during the like the spring break, to be able to travel with the organization and serve a community in need. And they give a list of, these are some of the things that they have done. Disaster relief in Puerto Rico, children's health awareness. This was during the last spring break. Look at this list of opportunities that the students have to take their time and serve within the community. It's considered an alternative break. They're referring to it as a week on instead of a week off, to use the break to focus on social issues. And I've got a list in here of in one of them, that will give you some of the social issues, a myriad of social issues that students have the opportunity to work with and serve. So Outbreaks is one of the programs that they offer. I'm going to go take a look at this one because this one is one that's coming up. We lead Diversity Matters, a symposium, student leadership symposium. So the students have the opportunity to experience and to learn about their abilities and the opportunities that are available to them for leadership. So there's a place to register. And interestingly, this is open for both FAU as well as non-FAU. And another one that I thought sounded really interesting was the leadership reading circles, opportunities to spend some time with, for the most part, their faculty who are involved with this organization, to just sit with a faculty member and do sort of a book club with this, or to discuss with others books or articles over a period of time. So the reading circles, I thought, was something that was really an opportunity. So let's look at the volunteer item on there. Again, these are all the links on their website. Why volunteer? So it's how we serve, how we can take a stand and help others and make a difference in our community. All of us see people that we know need help and we think, oh gosh, that's too bad. Here's a way to get out there and actually do something. Learn about the community organizations, plus for students, this community time can go into their transcript and give them the opportunity to share with future employers that they have done this, and they also have the opportunity also even to add onto their when they graduate. So let me go into the volunteer opportunities, which was really amazing to me. Look at the list of community resources that are available through the Weppner Lead and Serve website. So no matter what your content focus is, there's something within their community resources that can help support that, so that you can provide your students with a way of getting out into the community and seeing it actually in action. So I thought that was a really powerful list of things that they can do to get out there and be of service to others. There are some that are date specific, some that are ongoing, and so you can reach out to them and they will also come in and conduct a workshop for you. So it's a place to be able to go and get information about how to incorporate it into your classes. Academic service learning is a specific type of a program that they encourage faculty to literally put into your course, and they will guide in doing that, the components of an active service learning opportunity. And I've worked with faculty who have this actually as a part of their course. So it provides them the opportunity that is course specific, so that it enhances your own course objectives, and makes both supports your course objectives and supports community needs. civic engagement. It also definitely the critical reflection is a key piece of it, more than just thinking about more than just a casual reflection, but actually thinking about how it impacts the community and how it's a part of their course. So it's a way to help students serve and apply their curriculum into the community, and takes our teaching outside of ourselves, outside of our classroom, whether our classroom is a face-to-face or a virtual one. It allows us to really take our learning out into the world, our teaching. So I think it's a really valuable piece of it. They have, and I would encourage any students that are really interested in it, they have a leadership studies minor, and there's even an academic research community garden, which I had connected with at one point in my teaching, and I'd forgotten about it until I was doing some of the research for this. So that's kind of a really interesting perspective on it. So this last one, savvy, is going to give you the reason that I felt like it was important for us to discuss this today, because students advocating volunteer involvement, SAVI, is a program with the student government, and it gives them opportunities for leadership. I love this quote: "Make it a day on, not a day off." And so this is something that's coming up with our the university official holiday next Monday, January 21st. So they're starting with an address, a diversity address and breakfast, and then going to for a day of service. And the list of opportunities are amazing. I'm on the Jupiter campus today, and I keep seeing the signs about what they are doing and where they provide the transportation to the service organization. So it's a way for students to use this time as a way of serving. So look at the possibilities. Let me move this a little bit for you, that are available through the Boca Raton campus. There's a lot of different places, different projects and issues that are working on, and then each one of these is a link to discover more about that one. I mentioned the Jupiter campus. From here, they will be going to the Quantum House, where students, families with children that are receiving treatment in Palm Beach County for a medical condition, and the one here on the Jupiter campus will be taking the students there and providing them with the work opportunity and bringing them back here. So that it really is why I wanted to bring this up today. I'd like for us to go into more depth in it at a later time, but I felt like it was an important piece of what we do as a university and how we are able to reach out in the community. So can it work with an online course? I think that it definitely can. So let's take a look here. So if you're thinking about adding something within your own course, first of all, of course, I would suggest reaching out to the Weppner Lead and Serve organization and finding out more through them. They have an office on the Boca campus that is on the second floor, um, above I believe it's above the food court area. So it's on the second floor over there, and they will be glad to talk to you and help you get something set up for your own course. If you're looking to put the actual, like a service learning component into your course, you want to make sure that you think about the objectives and that the goals for your course objectives include having students understand how your curriculum, what you're teaching impacts in the social context. And again, there's not very many items in the curriculum that don't have an impact on the social context, and how the discipline addresses some of the big questions that society faces. You want to identify the purpose and the importance for the students. The idea of what service learning is may be a new concept to your students. So you want to make sure that you help them understand that there is a community responsibility in being good citizens. And if you're incorporating it into the course, they also need to understand that if they're committing to that they are committing to a responsibility beyond just completing their course assignments. Because if they've committed to serve an organization within the community, then that organization is also relying on them. So it's an important piece of that. And then the critical reflection is truly a really important piece of it. One of the articles that I read said that the instructor, when they talk about the service learning component, they ask the students, why do you want to make a difference in the world? And I think that's an important question within any of our areas of curriculum. But then once they respond to that, the next question that they ask is, why does it matter to know the why? And that brings in the metacognition. That's the critical reflection, to think about their reasoning for wanting to do something. So there's some important pieces to put into your course development. So I'm going to open up for well, let me go to this, and then we'll open it up to some comments. So I'd like for you to take a minute to jot down something that perhaps you might have taken away from this. Is there something that you might be able to add into your courses? I'm certainly going to try to. So jot down some thoughts, some ideas about what you might have gotten out of this. And of course, I'm going to invite you to share. Let Dimitri know, and to unmute your mic so that you can share and talk to us. Have we clarified anything for you? Have we given you any food for thought? Are you maybe thinking about your own critical reflections at this point? I'd love to hear your comments.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Lisa.
Excellent. So this is super important, and I'm so glad that you are showcasing this in a very timely manner. Bravo to us. So I teach at another university online, and the students that I'm currently teaching are graduate students, and they all have their own individual classrooms. They're all teachers. And so some of them are teaching at the high school level, and some middle and some elementary. And I'm definitely going to bring up the topic of service learning, and sort of engage them in thinking about their own classrooms and how, grade level and age appropriately they can engage their own students in this way. And actually, it's one of the courses I'm teaching is an Understanding by Design curriculum development course. And I know that a few of those students will embrace this idea as they're working through their units.
Yeah, it's a great component to add in, particularly where I'm assuming that for the most part, the students you're dealing with are K-12.
I actually have a nice mix
Oh,
of
good,
teachers. Yeah.
good, yeah, and it's by virtue of the fact that they're in the field of education, they're automatically interested in the community and in building and figuring out ways to help the community that they live and work in. Oh, and I was going to show one other thing while you all are focusing on that. Let me go back to that website because I forgot to show you one other thing that I thought was a really important piece of this. When you go into the website for this, look at this, a program on the campus that provides resources and food to assist students who may be experiencing hunger. I just thought that was a really, really amazing item. Our campus, as I'm sure most campuses, have resources for students, and I did not realize until I had a student who had actually experienced homelessness that there's things that are available to students who are experiencing some of the same challenges that we see within our communities, and there's a way of supporting them in that. So I thought that was a pretty interesting piece of it. So Marianne, I see a question mark. Are you still unsure? Okay. All right. So just as Lisa said, some food for thought, a way of thinking about how we serve, and that is such an important part of who we are and how we define ourselves.